Hi Capricorn, my name is Audrey Alison and this is your April 2014 forecast. I'm very happy to be here. I think there was just a delay as I was recording that. My name is Audrey Alison and I'm very happy to be here in case that didn't come through. Okay, so let's get into it. This month is a game changer. This month is the most hectic month of 2014 and here's what's up. We've got Venus on the 5th of April, who is transiting into Pisces. So this is affecting your third house of communications and study and teaching and siblings and local travel. You could also find, since Venus is actually exalted in the sign of Pisces, meaning, here's some astrology 101, each astrological sign, each planet governs a sign. Each planet or each sign has a ruling planet. Now, these planets also have signs in which they are exalted, which means they can perform their best in this sign. They're giving them the most harmonious aspects to perform the duties of these planets, or they have detriments and falls of the detriment, which means they have signs in which they don't really get their best work done. It's not so harmonious. So Venus is exalted in the sign of Pisces. Pisces will allow Venus to be the artist that she is, with loving expression, and this is affecting your third house. You're communicating about what it is you love and what it is you want. Oh, also your money, your finance. Venus is a money planet. So right on the 5th, you could have a very loving experience in regards to communications with someone or with your siblings, or with neighbors and local travel, those types of things. On the 7th of April, Mercury is going to join Uranus, who's stationed in Aries. And having both those planets, that's your fourth house of home and family. Having Uranus, the planet of shock and sudden surprise and electricity, joining Mercury, the planet of communication and study and local travel and writing and speech and teach, those two together in the 4th could mean a surprise in the home in regards to what you're learning or what you're talking about. There could be shocking news in the home or about the home. Someone could bring information into the home, or it could be a landlord calling you about your residence or your apartment. So keep a heads up for that. So we have that on the 7th of April, news or learning or teaching or writing coming in regards to the home. Any of you freelance writers working from the home will be very expressive at that time and could shockingly and quickly suddenly get some manuscripts or writings picked up. On the 14th of April, Pluto is retrograding, 13 degrees Capricorn. Pluto is with you, okay? So Pluto has, poor Cap, Pluto has been with you, very intense planet, the most intense planet, has been in Scorpio. So this is in your first house, retrograding through September 23rd. This is a long retrograde. But what this could do for you, Cap, is take him off your back a little bit. Pluto wants to change, okay? So in the first house, you're changing your actual self, your rebirth, your transformation of your physical self could be what's been happening, but in a retrograde, he's going to slow things down a little bit, so he's not so intense. This is a good thing for you, a Pluto retrograde, because he's stationed with you for so long. So you'll notice that maybe you feel a little bit not so burdened by his energy from the 14th through 9/23. So that could be a blessing. On the 15th, we have our first of 2 eclipses that are happening in April. It's a full moon lunar eclipse, and this is 25 degrees Libra, and this is affecting your 10th house of career. So there will be change for you, Capricorn, in your career, your social status. The 10th house is the limelight, how the masses perceive you in what you do, okay? Your social status, stature, your elevation, your title. Eclipses eclipse things out of your life that are unnecessary, that don't suit you. Okay, this could feel uncomfortable, but I would go with it because there would be changes in this 10th house for you. And In between the two eclipses, we have this grand cardinal square, which you're a major player in, which I'll talk about in a second. So the eclipse happens on the 15th. Right after that, the sun will enter Taurus, another earth sign, very compatible transit for you, on the 19th of April. It does every year. From April 19th through May 20th, you have the sun shining in Taurus. And this earth sign is in your 5th house of creativity and children and romance. So if you have children, you'll find that from usually on an annual cycle, from April 19 through May 20, your relationships with your kids are very warm and loving and expressive and just feel very, you know, abundant. The sun is shining there for them. Also, creative passions and endeavors could come to fruition at that time. So keep focused, even through the eclipses. Things will be brought to light by the end of the month. Now, the day after the sun goes into Taurus, on April 20th and 21st, we have what is called a grand cardinal cross happening in the sky, a grand square. It's happening with all the cardinal signs. You are one of them. The other 3 are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and you, okay? So here's what we have going on in the sky. We have Uranus stationed in Aries. We have Jupiter in Cancer, Mars retrograde in Libra, and Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. This is the whole square, just like Uma Thurman did in Pulp Fiction. This is bringing intense energy. They're all 13 degrees from each other, right smack in the middle of 30 degrees, okay? So this is an exact grand square. This is affecting your 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th house. 1st house of self, where Pluto is, your 4th house of home, your 7th house of relationships, where Taurus is, and, I'm sorry, your 5th house, where Taurus is, and, hold on a second. Why did I say that? Oh, I'm sorry. It's the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th. 1st house of self, 4th house of home and family, 7th house of relationships, and 10th house of career. So this is a game changer, and 2 of those planets are retrograde. So there are shifts that will be occurring after this is done. In a big way. Yeah, 7th house, I know where I got lost. 7th house is where Cancer is, okay? And that's your opposite sign of relationships. And then Mars retrograde in Libra. Libra governs your career house, Capricorn, on a solar level. Okay, on your natal chart, it might be different. So this is a solar scope. This is where your sun sign is. You might want to check your ascendant sign on a video scope to get absolute accurate transit information, but you also might want to get your chart done by me. Okay, so on the 20th and 21st, we have this combustible planetary energy, this grand square. And I've been saying this in the readings, and I have to say it again. This is earthquake energy, and we've had several in Los Angeles. And this is also volcanic eruption energy. So please be safe out there. Uranus is a shocking planet of sudden shock, surprise, jolts, electricity. And Mars is aggressive and angry and adamant and brings energy. And Pluto is the planet of death and change. Okay, so these together, Jupiter's kind of kicking it on the side like, hey, how did I end up with these clowns? You know, these guys. These planets are harsh compared to what Jupiter's offering. He's like lucky, abundance, gambling, growth, love, you know, all the good stuff. And here's the other 3. Like, guess what? We've got plans, and they're going to disrupt your flow, Jupiter. Be safe out there in the world, because this kind of energy will affect Mother Nature and the Earth. And if you live on the West Coast, expect some more earthquakes in April, probably coinciding with the eclipses. In between, we're having that square. Now, April 23rd, Mercury's entering Taurus. Very compatible placement again for you in the 5th house. This earth sign is going to bring comfort, companionship with the children, creative endeavors, romance, and just a very calming transit. Mercury is going to make you talk more about these creative endeavors, or communicate to your children. And Taurus is activated for you. This 5th house is activated on the 19th when the sun goes into it, and then on the 23rd when Mercury goes into it, and then on the 29th we have our second of 2 eclipses, the new moon solar eclipse, 8 degrees Taurus in this 5th house. That's going to bring change in these areas too. Change with your children. They could be moving out. They could be... It's a positive thing though. It feels like something could be led to your creative endeavors. A new breakthrough of opportunity could happen there for you. Let me pull some cards for you. And I actually brought back the astrological deck. I was getting questions from clients about where it went, and I brought him back today to pull some cards. Also, I wanted to say I'm sorry these are later in the month, these video scopes, but you can trust I'll have them up before the other month begins. So I've been getting a lot of emails about that. Where are the videos? It's coming. I have got a lot going on in a month, but I wanted to take the time when I do them. I don't want to rush through them. So here's what I have for you, Capricorn. Ooh, the Lady of Swords. This is the poet, the musician, the songstress. This is an air card. It does represent Gemini. However, you've got the 5th house activated, the creative endeavors. Musicians and songwriters and singers and guitar players and anyone in that kind of creative field could really succeed with the sun activating your 5th house. You could also be writing a lot because Mercury's going into Taurus. You could be writing music and songs a lot if you're into that. And very beautifully. You're communicating your word and expressing your creative talent very readily to other people. Now, this card I know I pulled before, but this is Capricorn. This is the Earth sign card, the 10 of Coins, the curmudgeoned man who is very concerned about his finances and a little bit materialistic and selfish at times. You want to save as much as you can at this time, Capricorn, because next month you'll have some things that you want to spend good money on. Be frugal when you can this month. You can afford to be. It's good to lay low in April too, in between the eclipses and on the eclipses. What's the astrological card I'll pull for you? Jupiter. Now Jupiter is in Cancer right now, and he is stationed in your polar opposite sign of Cancer in the 7th house of relationships and connections. He's filtering in positive, abundant energy into that 7th house for you, Capricorn, until July 16th of 2014. He's stationed in Cancer. So definitely develop your relationships. They're still growing. I think that Capricorns that are in relationships, there's still things that are growing in them. And the people who aren't in relationships, I feel they'll be brought to you by July, by the end of July of this year. My name is Audrey Alison. You can book with me at audreyallison.com. I'm also on Facebook, Audrey Alison Astrology and Tarot. I'm wishing you a beautiful May and a sweet day. Thanks, Cap. Bye.